So, so I'm Tasha Williams Moses, and I am the coordinator for the Writing Center as well as the Learning Resource Center at Leeward Community College. And no matter which campus you're located at, you can apply for the UH Common Scholarship. Just to tell you a little bit about my background, I've been an educator for about 18 years, working in writing classrooms as an English assistant professor of English, as well as managing and tutoring in learning resource centers. And so I really believe in supporting students and providing them with the resources in order to be successful students. And in doing so, my own personal background is coming from a large family, and I was able to connect with my advisor and just really ask her, hey, are there any resources that I could tap into? Are there any scholarships? And one day it just so happened that there was a particular scholarship. However, the deadline was going to be the next day. So you all have more time to deal with at your fingertips. But this story I want to share is that even if you have a short amount of time, it's really great to just apply anyway and have a positive outlook. So the name of the scholarship was the Gates Millennium Scholarship. And I pulled an all-nighter, and I just kind of worked on that essay, and I was awarded the scholarship, which paid for all of my undergraduate tuition, and I could go to any college in the US that I wanted to. And it also paid for my graduate education as well. And so I just share that story to encourage and motivate you, just to try, and just put that energy out there in the universe. And because of that, I felt more confident and I was able to apply for more scholarships. So yeah, and most scholarships will have that component where you have to provide like a written personal essay or statement. So here are some tips to kind of get you through that process and navigate that. So you'll want to read the scholarship materials before you begin. You know, there's nothing worse than getting to the deadline and saying, oh my goodness, I forgot about this and I really have to work hard to complete this. Or, wow, I spent so much time working on this essay. I don't know if I can get a reference letter in a day. So it's really important for you to read the scholarship materials. And it's really helpful that Pearl is able to kind of go over the components of the UH Common Scholarship. So don't miss any information. You're perfectly capable of following the directions. And if you're not quite sure, you have us as resources. You can reach out to Pearl and the financial aid office and just ask any questions that you might have. So review the scholarship essay requirements. And so I will also share the link for this presentation so that you can review it later as well. So just go to the UH Common Scholarship website, and then you'll see the different components of the scholarship. Are you able to see my screen? I clicked on my link here. Okay, great. So they do a great job of just kind of outlining what is needed. You may not see that with a lot of scholarships. Sometimes you're kind of like, oh, what do I have to complete? But this one is pretty straightforward in terms of the components of the scholarship application. So the requirements are that you'll have a personal statement, which is 900-word limit. And don't be scared by that. That's roughly, would you say that's just about 2.5 pages, Pearl? Yeah, so don't be scared by that. Also, there's a community service essay that you can write, 600-word limit. That's not required, but it really helps your case if you're able to describe that, like your community service involvement. And there are also other optional essays that you can write, and we'll kind of cover some of those topics. Also, letters of recommendation, transcripts. Also consider applying for the free application for federal student aid as well. Also, there's a section where they provide answers to any questions or requirements that most students might have about the application. So I'm switching back to my presentation slides. Do you all see those? Great. I've learned to ask those questions. There's nothing worse than having a presentation in front of you and you're not quite sure if the audience can see it. Great. All right. So next you'll want to identify the key information. Who is sponsoring the scholarship? In this case, this one is put on by the University of Hawaii, but there are different scholarships that are being offered under that umbrella. What are the application requirements? Do you qualify? So they ask really helpful questions in order to decide if you qualify for certain scholarships. When is the deadline? So here are a few deadlines. March 1st at 4 p.m. That's when the entire application is due. Also, you should upload your high school and college transcripts by March 1st at 4 p.m. Notice that there are also timestamps. So don't cut yourself out of money just because you turn it in at 5 p.m. because that may not put you in the running. Okay, and then March the 8th at 4 p.m., that's the deadline for letters of recommendation. Also consider, what materials are going to be required. That's just kind of reading ahead of time and coming up with a plan for yourself as a student as to how you will get these materials. So as you read the prompt, you want to identify key information. What questions do you have to answer? And what information do you need to provide? So anytime that they have a required question, you definitely want to answer that question. Even if you're providing additional information that's not necessarily being requested, the most important thing is to think of your priorities, and the questions that they ask you to respond to are definitely the priority here. So a helpful suggestion is to underline or number each question or piece of information that's being requested. So when applying for scholarships, I would literally just print out the application if possible, and then I would underline or number each question or piece of information that's requested. And that really helped me to stay on task in terms of, whether I was able to respond to the prompt. All right. So here's the prompt for the UH Common Scholarship. It says that you're required to submit a personal statement of about 900 words. Yeah, we've got it. Just about 2.5 pages. And so you want to talk about, why do you think you deserve a scholarship? How have these scholarships helped or help you in your education? So some students received the scholarship previously and they want to reapply. So, and others are just applying this year. What are your educational and career goals? And it's okay if you're not quite sure about where you want to go. But at this point, if you have some possibilities, then you can say, this is the direction that I am considering. Any accomplishments, including any honors or awards. And it's like once you earn a scholarship, you can put that on your resume and that goes along with honors or awards. Little fact about me is that when I entered college, when I applied, I wasn't able to enter English 100 because I wasn't quite ready, and I was so upset at the time. But I took a course the summer before I actually went to college, and that really helped me to brush up on my skills. And then I was able to enter English 100 in the fall with the rest of the students who I graduated with. And I was able to earn a 3.7 GPA and apply for the Gates Millennium Scholarship. So if you have any setbacks or challenges like that, it's really good to mention that. And also don't let those challenges get in your way, but use them as fuel and motivation to succeed in the future. So your personal background, including any highlights, special situations in your life, or other information for the scholarship committee to consider, and any barriers to reaching your educational goals and how you plan to overcome them. So initially, I wasn't able to get into English 100, but after I graduated from college in 4 years, and then I went on for my master's, I'm currently enrolled in a PhD program, and I was able to teach English 100, which was a course I couldn't even get into for a number of years. So just kind of think of ways to navigate and use your resources so that you can accomplish your career goals. All right. So some optional essays are, you know, uh, service activities, um, community service. So you can talk about any of those experiences. And some of you were probably already required to do some community service or just have such a love for community that you've already done those on your own. So just list those out. And you really want to list those and let it be known how you've helped your community. There are also some optional essays, and for a full list of those, such as 442nd Veterans Endowed Scholarship, Healthcare, Environmental Sustainability, these are just three of those topics, but there's a long list of topics you can choose from if you want to optimize your potential of getting more scholarships. You can see this full list of topics and then write optional essays based on that. So after you've considered the requirements, the prompt, you want to think about, what do I want to say? And then kind of brainstorm your ideas. What are the main points that you want to develop? In what order will I present these points? And can you answer why and how in addition to what? So I took a look at the prompt, and they definitely want you to discuss the reasons why you deserve the scholarship and how these scholarships have helped and or will help you in your education. So that's a great topic to start with. So just kind of brainstorm your ideas based on the prompt. There's a whole list of questions that you want to answer, and think about what are the main points you want to develop and what order you will present these points. So with writing, there's a whole writing process. You want to start off by brainstorming your ideas. That's literally when you come up with ideas and you're storming the page with these ideas. The first step in this writing process is just kind of brainstorming and formulating these ideas. Now, if you feel like, hey, this is brainstorming, no, I don't have time for that, you might be shorting yourself, because with brainstorming, that's when you really come up with those creative juices that are going to give you ideas for later on when you're drafting out your essay. So let's take a look at this in a little activity that I like to call free writing. And Peter Elbow, he actually gave us this strategy. It's when you start writing, and it's okay if you don't really know where you're going to end up at the end. But it's really a chance to give your mind the opportunity to be free and to come up with some ideas based on the topic. So just, I know my prompt says about 3 minutes. How about we just try this for about 1 minute, 1 minute to win it. And we're just going to focus on the topic of the Common Scholarship and why you deserve the scholarship. It doesn't have to be perfect. At this point, you're just writing. You're not even thinking about grammar or punctuation. So it's about 12:47. If you have a computer screen in front of you, or even a piece of paper and an ink pen or pencil, we're going to start at about 12:49 and we'll write for 1 minute. Whatever comes to your mind with regard to why you deserve the Common Scholarship. Okay? So I'll just let you get ready wherever you are. So on your marks, get ready, get set, and go. And I'll stop you at 12:50. Resist the urge to correct yourself. Just write whatever comes to your mind. And you can just take a moment to wrap up your thought, and I'll let you know when you can stop. Okay, we're wrapping up our thoughts, and you can stop. So sometimes it just really takes the anxiety away or the edge off if you can just get started. Even with 1 minute, you're able to kind of think about some ideas as to what you could write about. Now, for an extended brainstorming session, just allow yourself more time. I like to set my timer whenever I want to write. It could be like 10 minutes, and then just kind of continue your writing on that subject. So after you brainstorm, you want to go ahead and review your plan and start writing. So here's an option. You can write the whole draft without stopping and without editing. Or option two, you could write the draft in parts, either by main points or by essay requirements. And in the Writing Center, we can help you get started from start to finish as well. If you want us to help you like to look at your outline or help you to create an outline based on your ideas and give you suggestions and pointers. Or if you have a draft, you can bring it by and we can look at that and give you some pointers and suggestions as well. Also, Scott Sutherland is here from Windward Community College, and you can connect with tutoring on that campus as well. Also, in addition to these campuses, KCC, um, Maui College, all college campuses across the UH system, we have connections with the coordinators, and we can provide you with information about tutoring. So after you write your first or your second draft, you want to review the scholarship materials again, just to take a closer look at the requirements, just to make sure that you're hitting on all these points. So when you're writing, when you have a draft ready, I would suggest underlining or highlighting um, parts that correspond with the requirements. So for example, the first question to answer is why you deserve the scholarship. I would label that as one, and then go in my draft and look for when I responded to that and said why I deserve it. And then I would label that actual writing as one. So, any kind of tips and tricks that would help you, I would recommend doing that. You'll also want to review your draft for organization. So not only content and that you're following the instructions, but make sure that you have a general scheme. Do your paragraphs make sense? Are there transitions? Do all the paragraphs address the questions? And do your paragraphs have an effective intro and conclusion? And any UH system tutor can work through these prompts and paragraphs with you to ensure that you're following the instructions. Does the draft show with specific details and concrete examples? And review, and lastly, here's a little secret. Some people think that the spelling and grammar is the most important thing to do up front, but it really helps to do that at the end, because sometimes when you look for spelling and grammar in the beginning, you're kind of hampering your creative juices and not allowing yourself to get that content out. And so spelling and grammar are highly important, but it's not, it's also important to get the content out as well. So at the end, when you're looking at spelling and grammar, I would suggest read it aloud to a friend, or if you don't have a friend around, you can also, like me, I used to call my voicemail. If you don't have a recorder, and I would just read it aloud to myself and then play it back. That's a, a, a budget friendly way of hearing how it sounds. All right. And leave your draft overnight, review it again the following day, and you'll have new eyes and a fresh perspective. So if you're at Leeward Community College, you can review our website. We have some available times Monday through Thursday from 9 to 3 p.m., as well as Fridays 11 until 3 p.m. You can feel free to make an appointment or request drop-in service through Pingy app, or email us at writers@hawaii.edu, and we'll assist you with an appointment or drop-in services. And Scott, would you also like to share your hours for when students at Windward Community College can get assistance?
Sure, yeah. So we actually have a pretty large variety of hours, Monday through Saturday. We have virtual walk-ins, in-person walk-ins, as well as appointment-based tutoring. So if you want any and all of that information, I'll put my email into the chat box, and then you can just email me directly and I'll send you all kinds of information about our tutoring services here at Windward.
Thank you so much. And Scott is such a wonderful resource. He'll be providing a SC workshop on study skills a little bit later in our SC workshop series. So this concludes my part of the presentation, and just really looking forward to hearing if you all have any questions that we haven't covered so far. Do you have any questions that we can help you with? We love questions.
I think for myself, I'm just more worried about the writing part because I don't even know where to start. So I think I'm kind of apprehensive about asking for help just because I don't have anything. I'm not bringing anything. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Hi, Ginger. What campus are you coming from?
I'm from Leeward, but I have some classes at the YNI Moku campus.
Okay, we're so happy that you stopped in. Sometimes getting started can be the hardest part, actually. So I'm glad that you mentioned that, and hopefully something that you said has resonated with the other students as well who are experiencing this. So sometimes with writing, you just get started brainstorming, such as we did today, and then you just really come as you are. If you need help just getting started, that's what the writing process is all about. We'll sit with you and talk about, what is it that you want to bring across in your essay. You don't have to have writing in order to come to that's a little secret, to come to your writing appointment. We can just kind of talk it through, look at the essay application, and also help you kind of get an organized timeline for like when you're going to have a draft and what it takes in order to work toward that draft. So what I would recommend for you or any student who wants to get started, you can, if you have any ideas, you can jot them down, but really the tutor is there to help you envision what the final draft is going to be like. So I would recommend just stopping in at the Leeward Community College Library Learning Commons. We're located on the second floor. And we just recently installed a really colorful mural of the shark deity. And we're really, you can find us pretty easily. We offer in-person tutoring, whether it's drop-in or through appointment. However, if you are online or maybe you're um, like not on campus, you can just email us or just go through Pingy app and you can make an online appointment. So we're available in person, online, or even telephone. And we've been providing online appointments since 2007. And we actually used to use Skype before Zoom. So, Ginger, why don't you just kind of email me well, not email me, but message me in the chat. Message me your email address, and I will personally help you get started with the Common Scholarship and get connected.
Okay, thank you so much.
Yeah. Do we have any other questions? Samantha, this sounds like you really have some great information, a great question, but we're having a little trouble hearing you. Would you mind using the chat? Would that be possible? And then we can see your question that way. Is she still there?
I think
Okay.
I'm here.
Okay.
I bad reception.
Okay, that's okay. Just feel free.
Okay.
Oh, trouble with Wi-Fi. Okay, got it. If you're able to send a chat message, then do that. But if not, I do have your email address and I can reach out to you that way as well. Okay. Do we have any other questions? We love questions.
I have a question. So you mentioned that to address the prompt, and I was wondering which prompt would be best to address first. I think you said it was like why you think you deserve a scholarship. Would that be the best prompt to address?
It would be, you're required to address the personal statement prompt.
Mm-hmm.
So let me take a look at that. There are a series of questions that the prompt asks, and you want to make sure that you answer all of those questions. But you're probably wondering, okay, there's a lot of questions. In what order are you asking? In what order should you respond to those questions?
Yes.
So
Is there an order, or it's just like depending on however you're rating it, you can address it however, or well, what do you think?
yeah, I'm thinking the way that they actually have it outlined here,
Mm-hmm.
it's a good way to address it in that order, but it's
Okay.
not required.
Okay.
So you could actually explain why you deserve the scholarship in the introduction, or even just kind of have specific reasons throughout the essay. And then there could be a paragraph on like your accomplishments or your educational and career goals. But it looks like you could actually just follow the way they have it listed there, although it's not required. Yeah.
Okay, I got it. Thank you.
Does that help?
Yes.
Pearl, is that how you might give her tips on that one? I think you're muted, Pearl.
Okay, yeah,
Okay.
exactly. Yes, that's how I would say it. Yes, you've really offered excellent tips and addressed specifically what I think the committee is looking for, or committees, I should say, for people at other campuses. And
Yeah, that's a
uh,
great question. And what's your name?
Shady.
Yeah, nice to meet you, Shady.
Yes, thank you. Thank
So
you guys for your help.
yeah, I think a lot of students might have that question,
mhm,
especially since there's a few components there.
right.
So, yeah. Wow, these are dynamic questions. Keep them coming.
Gosh, I have a question.
Yeah.
When answering the prompts, how do you know how much information or limited information that you should disclose? I guess I should ask. Does that make
No,
sense to any of
that's
you?
Yeah. I
great
think
question.
Pearl might be able to answer that one as well.
Well, I think, well, you flesh it out in as much detail and see how much else you can address in the essay. And I think that should be your limiting factor, is if you are reaching the word limit, and maybe you spent a lot of time addressing just one prompt, then maybe you might reconsider and cut back then and edit it then. So I would say address it fully, the first draft.
Yeah. Because you
Okay.
want to get all those gems of information, you don't want to just like just kind of cut yourself off. So
Right.
exactly what Pearl is saying is just to get it all out. Just be a writing maniac.
Exactly. And
Let
then
the,
trim from
yeah,
there.
let the muse overtake you.
Yes, yes.
And then there's a 900 word limit. So you can consider, how many words do I have at this point? And is it really driving home the fact that kind of envision yourself as a committee member, if it doesn't make you too nervous reading your essay, what is the most important information about me that would help them to award a scholarship to me? Now, if I'm talking about eating potato chips, that might be entertaining, but it may not help them to get a full sense of who I am beyond my taste buds. But if I'm talking about where I'm from and the type of situation that I'm coming from, and basically why you're convincing them why you need the money, this is why you should give me the money. Show me the money. So just kind of keep that in mind when you're writing as well.
Great,
Hope,
thank you
hope
so
that
much.
helps. Yeah. And Scott, thanks for sharing those links out as well. So if you're attending for a class or even for the Kipuka Center here, the Native Hawaiian Center, please make sure that you provide your information so that I can send that to your teacher or your program. Or even if you're at a different UH campus, we always reach out to instructors when students indicate it in the feedback form, and then they can get extra credit for today's workshop. Any more questions? Feel free to ask. We'll also stick around a little bit later if you want to ask any questions one-on-one. And Scott, would you have anything you'd like to add as well?
No, nothing in particular. Just definitely consider, applying for as many scholarships as you can, especially the UH Common one. It's a great scholarship that I received as well. And then I know Pearl mentioned the B+ scholarship, which I also got coming out of high school, and that allowed me to pay for my first year of college completely. Plus it paid for all my books, my laptop, other things that I needed as well.
Wow, that is excellent. Okay, and then our next SC workshop is going to be on February the 8th. And we're going to talk about ADA accommodations. If you're wondering what that is or how you can get assistance with that program, feel free to kind of read our description and join us back here next week at 12 o'clock. So make it a successful day, and we hope that you can utilize us as resources. Reach out to us, reach out to your campus for any assistance that you're looking for. And, you'll look up and you'll be able to provide a workshop on, hey, this is the scholarship that I got. So Pearl, did you want to have any final words before we go?
Well, thank you all for your time. If you have any questions, please contact me at the information's, of course, in that links to the UH Common Scholarship app document. And just, let us know how we can help you. If you even want to use me as your third-party reader, just to see how your essay sounds, you're welcome to do that. I won't tell you that you'll be awarded a specific scholarship, but you can use me as a resource too if you have don't want to use your voicemail, or you don't have a friend, or you're shy or whatever. Don't worry, no judgment. But thank you all for joining us today, and best wishes on your applications.
Mahalo.
Thank you.
Tasha, I have one more quick question.
Yeah,
I'm not
we'd love
sure
questions.
whoever can answer it. So is there any advice as far as the difference between 2-year and 4-year scholarships as far as applications go? I don't know if that makes any sense as far as how I'm putting it, because I'm going from Leeward to West Oahu next year.
Okay, so if you're going to do that, make sure that you have you already completed your application, Pua?
Yes, ma'am.